America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to
We're losing our democracy!
More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Wake up!
Before we get into that, let's get into this.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Liberty Bowl. It is, of course, a live stream Friday. As we do every Friday here, we come together, talk about the latest in news, politics, and the fall of Western civilization, possibly World War III as we know it. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Liberty Swine. How you doing this week, man?
What's good, bro? Doing good as always, man. Watching the fucking world burn, I guess, until it hits my neighborhood. I'm all right at the moment. Dude. How about yourself?
All right, just kicking back, having a good old fun time watching cars burn. It's yeah, just been chilling, man. Actually, just been watching, Arizona burn just because the fucking heat. But yeah, just been chilling, man. It's been not bad. Of course, it's been a busy week in the news this past week. The main thing, of course, has been the riots that have been plaguing LA and have been spreading throughout the United States, and this weekend threatens to be even more across the United States. Brought to you by Walmart. Let's see. We also have the other big news that really just took place. What was it today? Fucking Israel struck Iran, and yeah, Iran's been retaliating. Big things going on over there in the Middle East. Did we know about it? Did we not know about it? Did we sanction it? Did we not sanction it? Are we in a new war? What's going on? A million questions. So basically, we're really just going to be kind of focusing on those two topics right there. Of course, we're going to start the first half of the show just talking about basically the America burning down in for the sake of illegal immigrants. The LA riots, stuff like that. And then the second half, we'll be going ahead and talking about geopolitics, Israel, the Middle East, sprinkle in a little bit of Russia, Ukraine up in there, just make it all come together and shit. And yeah, we'll wrap it up from there. But what's your initial, because last Friday when we were here, that was when the first, protests started taking place in Los Angeles, and that was starting to get a little bit out of hand on day one, right? So we talked just a little bit about that last week, but it's been burning for an entire week now, an entire over a week at this point. What's your thoughts on the chaos?
I mean, stereotypical, right? Summer of Love 9.0, bro. The funders stay the same, but the foot soldiers change their chips, and and of course, right on cue, the Frankfurt Smithmont fucking Mockingbird media is immediately going to come out and say mostly peaceful protesters, and
Right.
it's Saul Alinsky, man, Cloward Piven, whichever route you want to take it. It's so in dissent, and that's part of, I think, of the whole war mechanism, because when you get civil strife, and you start getting problems for an administration, what's the answer? You go to war. But Trump doesn't need to be reelected, and it seems that thus far, at least, it's not working, at least to an extent. I mean, apparently, they did know the shit was going to happen. They moved American assets, the fuck out, closed consulates and whatnot. And he kind of mentioned it, alluded to it. Something bad's going to happen. You need to sign the deal. But at the same time, our greatest allies show once again they're not, because as Trump's trying to close in on a deal to, cap the situation off, of course, Israel goes behind his back and starts blowing shit up, man. And, stereotypical form of, the Jewses. They're going to get us into some type of conflict, as and I'm surely the furthest thing from a leftist, but they've committed multiple genocides throughout their fucking history of being expelled from 112 countries, and there's a reason for that. And if your child's kicked out of every fucking school he's been in, at some point you got to realize it's your child.
So I was actually asking about your thoughts on the LA riots, but I can see that
It's all a culmination. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Said. I mean, it's the funders and the antagonizers stay the same. The foot soldiers get their shits changed, and
Right.
I think that the police have been known. The FBI statistics. Quite a few people every year get some type of armed conflict with police, and I'm sure people anyone that's listening, you could see across the inner zones at any given moment, hour after hour of police shootings. But it appears that it's with these people, they can hit them in the head with rocks and destroy their vehicles and, march on, their headquarters and whatnot. But all they're doing is pushing them around and dragging them a few feet and letting them go and shit for the most part.
Right.
It's like I said, you don't know who we could possibly even trust to do their job at the point. Like, let's see some fucking heads rolling. And
right. Well, there's been quite a few of arrests. I mean, even the dude that was throwing rocks at the cars and stuff as they passed by, he's been identified and he's on the wanted list at this point.
I actually think he got arrested. I think his own family turned him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, it's
but again,
place,
that's hundreds of people at this point, and like I just right before we came on, I was watching a video in New Jersey where these leftists marched on the police headquarters and ICE headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't doing nothing, and finally all the ICE break through the fence. They come through and start like they're gonna do something, pushing people over and stuff, but then they start grabbing each other and back up, buddy. Okay, that's enough. I mean, to the extent they got to arrest some people, right? I mean, they're committing the most heinous acts, but for the most part, it's like they're with the media. Like, well, it's mostly peaceful. Like, they're attacking you, dude. And you see, this is all a setup, of course, by the California government, like we were talking about earlier. Apparently, it's come to light that the organizers have got $73 million through state and federal fucking government funds. And then you have like Karen Bass, obviously radical from way back, that's all in on this, just recently put in a curfew after letting the place burn and calling everybody a fascist for trying to enforce laws. And her answer was, well, if Donald Trump just would stop enforcing immigration laws, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's surely not the answer, right? And of course, Gavin Newsom trying everything he can to keep suing. And then that you had a lower circuit judge, of course, put forth an injunction like returning the power of the reserves back to California. And then you had an appeals court immediately this morning, bam, overturn that and say, no, Trump obviously has the power of the reserves. So it's going to be a nonstop battle between leftist activist fucking government officials and their henchmen and the electorate of this country that's trying to move us forward rather than watch us be fucking burned.
Right. Yep. It's this meme right here totally it completely describes the situation perfectly. Like we said last Friday, we were watching cars already start burning. This pretty much started immediately. They were starting to burn down Los Angeles, and then so of course Donald Trump, as you said, invoked Title 10, went ahead and took control of Los Angeles's National Guard, and immediately just started not going to have the same thing, not going to do it again, not doing the Summer of Love again. Like it's of course that's what it's going to end up being, but nonetheless, he's doing it a different way this time, and of course the left is out here trying to spew, if Donald Trump hadn't come in here and took over the National Guard, everything was totally peaceful until they started coming in and throwing tear gas and shit like that, but yeah, all these memes and shit, it's been mayhem out here.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, I've said it repeatedly. Sometimes you need a little fascisms,
right? Yeah, I mean, especially when Los Angeles is looking like this. Let me see what I can find right here. Let's see. Let's click on a random one.
What happened? Hey, get up, bro. Get up.
Hey, we don't do that shit, homie.
Hey,
Get out.
nah, they losing. Hey, get up.
Homie. Hey, we don't do that shit.
Oh, shit.
We don't do that shit. Yes, you do, dude. You're in a fucking mindless mob. Like it's a mob. There is no rhyme or reason to it. There's no honor amongst thieves and shit like that. This is fucking Los Angeles. Like yes, that's what they do. Sorry.
Making us look bad. Damn. Now you good.
Thought it was all sunshine and rainbows, didn't you? Thought everyone's just gonna be out there locking arms and singing fucking Kumbaya. Like, nope.
Hey, get the fuck out!
What's going on, bro? They breaking shit down?
All right. Looting. See what else we got. Fucking cars burning. The wheel cars.
Yep, and like I was saying earlier, where the tie-in, right, to the War Machine, two of the people that are being as funders for this situation is Lee Greenberg and Ezra Levin, right? It's a couple that are just absolute atheist communist Jews, and they're the ones that are filtering the money through organizations to get the pallets of bricks dropped off and drop off pallets of gas masks and whatnot.
Yeah. Yep. Shit, if you could send me some articles, man, go ahead and send them. Like I said, we're just going to take, spend some time on this one. We'll go ahead and dive into them. Let's see what else we got.
They know how quickly we mobilize. That's why they're changing tactics, because community defense works and our resistance has slowed them down before. And if they're escalating their tactics, then so are we. When they show up, we got to show up even stronger.
So apparently this is an LA councilwoman.
Yeah.
Gigantic. But yeah, she's calling for more escalations, of course. The difference between the National Guard deploying during the BLM riots and the now LA illegal alien riots is the armed tactical loadout. Those M4 carbines have magazines in them. Oh my goodness. They've got magazine clips, 30 round calibers, and all that. Let's see. Mostly peaceful.
Absolutely.
Good times, good times. Welcome to Los Angeles. All right. So let's see what we got here. Let's see. It's like some screenshots. So I'm guessing this was the couple that you were talking about.
If you keep going there, obviously I wanted to send them individual, so you didn't have to.
All right. So this was the first one that you sent. All right. So Levin grew up in Buda, Texas. He is Jewish. Graduated from Charlton College in 2007. He earned a master's degree from the Woodrow Wilson School of Public and International Affairs from Princeton University in 2013. Early life and education. Greenberg was raised in Chevy Chase, Maryland. She is Jewish. She graduated from Charlton College in 2008 with a Bachelor of Arts degree. She later studied at Tufts University, where she received a major's degree in law and diplomacy. Let's see. So this side says, wait, what up?
I'm listening. I'm still scrolling, trying to find Jazz.
All right, so this is them. See, meet two of the let's see, something America is back at J Nada. Meet two of the prime suspects for organizing and funding the LA riots, two radical communists, Leah Greenberg and Ezra Levin, both atheist communists. These two pathetic creatures are co-founders of the Radical Foundation Indivisible. They are also behind the radical anti-American organization NoKings.org. Just check them out at NoKings.org. Trains radicals on how to organize, protest, and incite riots. These despicable groups are well funded through numerous organizations like USAID, other NGOs, and some Soros foundations. These communists and all who sponsor them need to be exposed. All right. See, Mike Benz says AFL-CIO received 72 million in government grants in just a single year, and they're organizing the No Kings Mass Street protest to shut down the country this weekend. Earth to White House shut down the riot money. So that's I can't really see it too much, but American Center for International Labor Solidarity consolidated statements of activities years end December 31st, 2023 and 2022. Right. Like I said, I can't really
But I mean, it just
read
breaks
it.
down the financials. But I mean, ultimately, like Mike Benz is telling you, I mean, it's you know. What's up, Donnie? How you doing, bro? Thanks for coming by. Enjoy.
Let's see. In 1993, the Capitol was bombed. She was the ringleader. You know what else is interesting? This bombing was carried out by a left-wing group called the M19. The M19 was radicalized by the South Los Angeles Venceremos Brigade. The Los Angeles Venceremos Brigade was founded by Communist Democrat Los Angeles Mayor Kern Bass, who also has a slight case of the downs every now and then. But let me see if I can find some Karen Bass stuff. But yeah, so yeah, go ahead, man. Drop your thoughts on that. I'm gonna look this up real quick.
Drop the thoughts on what? I mean, the organizers. I mean, it obviously it's shit. Like I said, right? War machine, the Zog machine, man. I mean, you know, it's the Jews that's pushing us to strife and war. I mean, it seems to be a pattern. Our greatest ally seems to not be so. And you know, you got the older generations that still have their mindset that this is God's chosen people. Like these motherfuckers have crept in and distorted everything to the point, right, that the man in the little mustache tried to tell you what the fuck he was fighting against, and you're seeing the repercussions of it now, right? Our own general Patton, what did he tell you? I fear we fought on the wrong side, gentlemen. You know what I mean? We're going to end up, seeing degeneracy and, debauchery on our streets at home. And here we are. And, again, always have the receipts. I got tons of clips, right? The clip commander out this bitch. And, I could play you, actual, ponytail Orthodox Jews telling you we've created all the isms. Communism, socialism, trannyism, really. I mean, it's there. What was the first book burning? It was tranny materials, man.
Right. Well, I mean, the first one that we know, I'm sure there's
fucking Dax off.
There's been thousands of instances of book burning, history burning, fucking entire language wiped out, civilization
used as a weapon to cudgel you into fucking silence with. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, at least, like I say, in the modern era. But I mean, ultimately, I'm sure it could have gone down multiple times throughout history. But yeah, I mean, definitely, like I say, interesting stuff. And I don't necessarily know for sure. Like I say, the only thing that I actually know is shit's not going too great at the moment. But but yeah, like I said, I didn't really do any sort of a diving into the whole thing this weekend or this week. I was mainly, like I say, just watching the chaos, watching the
Right.
chaos.
Yeah. The same culprits always come out though, whether it's your Soroses or your
Mhm.
Beals, whatever, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
There seems to be a pattern, and if you notice it, your racisms.
Right. Yep. But yeah, fucking. So what's your predictions for this weekend?
I assume it's going to get crazy. Like I said, just before it came on, I was watching videos where they're showing piles of bricks appear in the corners of Scottsdale, right? One of the richest places here in Arizona. That's a place that normally doesn't see any kind of street urchins, let alone mass violence. It's like kind of like staging one of these events in Beverly Hills or something, right? Again.
Right.
And so if it's going to happen there, I'm sure it's only going to get worse in other places. You got shit to look forward to, like you seen the sheriff come out in Florida and say, if you hit one of my police officers with rocks, we'll be alerting your relatives on where they can pick up your remains. You know what I mean? And that's what I was saying, like earlier. Like you get into a scuffle, and the police will be called, and someone ends up getting shot. I mean, why aren't we seeing that with people that are actually assaulting police rather than getting mouthy or not listening? You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. Well, I mean, of course, everything's got to be about the optics too, and fucking what's everyone's gonna get sued left and right. I mean, there's gonna be fuck, dude. We already pay billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars in taxpayer money out to fucking people that get their rights violated by the police, every year out, here in America anyway. So I guess they're trying to maybe save a little bit on that, but nonetheless, I mean, I think they should honestly just do a like how they do in fucking all these other foreign countries, just fucking paint the entire crowd fucking blue. And then tell them everybody that's got fucking blue paint on them is under arrest. Like, fucking go run home. You ain't gonna get this shit off for weeks, motherfucker. Like, you're gonna be the fucking blue man group for the next fucking month.
As long as that hose is connected to a hydrant and it's real high pressured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kids across the road and shit. Yeah.
Right, dude. Like, fucking when I was watching them do the whole thing on the fucking the freeways in LA and shit this week, I was just thinking, like, dude, like, I see they have them blocked off right there, Why don't you just have another fucking unit just come up and block off the other side? Like, okay, everybody that's in this vicinity, like, you are now under arrest. Like, you are now under arrest for, obstructing, public highways, terrorism. Shit, I don't know, fucking
arrest them for property, attempted fucking up to and including great bodily harm on an officer.
Right.
I mean, they could go off. That's what I mean.
Yeah. But I mean, like I say, either way, just kind of block them all in. Just basically do like the whole fucking what's that movie? A Bronx Tale thing. All right, now you can't leave. Like, fucking, all right, cool. You guys are fucking boxed in now. What are you gonna do? Fucking rush the fucking sides? You guys gonna climb up the fucking sides of the barricades like fucking like zombies or some shit like that? Fucking World War Z. You guys are stuck now. Like, everybody in this motherfucker right here, you've been warned multiple times that you need to fucking disperse. You're over here disrupting traffic. You're completely fucking up everything in the city because, of course, these highways and stuff like that, they're really kind of the veins of the city. That's what pumps the fucking blood. It's how the wheels turn in this place. So really, I mean, you're disrupting things all over the city just by being here. Everybody here is under arrest.
Yeah, and like, it's almost like you're stuck in a loop as far as like the NPC shit. We always make fun of the left with the memes and shit, like, change the shit. This is what you're mad at today, because these motherfuckers will definitely have you support some shit that you normally wouldn't. Never been a blue line guy, never will be.
Right.
They've always been against the damn police, man. Right?
Now we're over here like, why don't they just crack some skulls, man? Come on.
Yeah, I want to see some fucking shit happen, man. Not just coming from the degenerates, man.
Right. Well, shit, I want to just real quick. We're gonna veer off to our neck of the woods, old Tucson, Arizona, where some hilarious fucking protesting went down. They really fucking they really stuck it to ice here, you guys. Now, you're gonna be proud of these 10 people that went and protested here in Tucson, Arizona. But yeah, dude, I watched this last night, dude. I couldn't stop laughing. Just, this is the dumbest fucking commie leftist that I have ever seen. I mean, just look what these fucking idiots did.
Investigative reporter Corus Nylander, who spoke with the Pinal County Sheriff, who says his deputies were working a major drug bust in Tucson last night when this same group of protesters disrupted their investigation. He joins us now live near 22nd Street and Country Club on the south side. Corus, what have you learned so far about this incident?
Yeah, well, Sean, after the protests out here last night started to get out of hand and some folks caused violence, a large group of them got wind somehow of a nearby law enforcement operation they seem to believe was an ICE operation, but it wasn't ICE at all. As you mentioned, it was a drug bust being carried out here in Pima County by the Pinal County Sheriff's Office.
We have a right to be here. This is our community. You're getting paid to terrorize us.
As an anti-ICE protest on Tucson's south side turned violent Wednesday night, with several businesses vandalized and Tucson police declaring an unlawful assembly.
I think they make a big difference in sending a message that we won't take all of these ICE raids laying down.
Members of the same protests then turned their attention to nearby law enforcement activity outside of a home.
All four streets! All four streets!
They all went there thinking it was an ICE raid because these idiots don't have anything other than groupthink.
Pinal County Sheriff Ross Steeple says it wasn't an ICE raid at all, but a drug bust his deputies have been working on for 6 months. An immigrant with a warrant for his arrest out of his native country of Mexico for racketeering. During the bust, they also found over and other drugs.
30.
They really made a difference there, man. They're fucking doing big things, changing the world, saving lives, man. Yeah, man, shit's ridiculous. They just right? They just assumed they heard on their police scanners that, oh, there's a bus going down, like it must be ICE. Yeah, fucking ridiculous. Yeah, and as you see, like 10 of them broke off and went over here, and oh, what is that? Fucking a million fucking pills of fentanyl. A guy wanted for racketeering in fucking Mexico. Like, how the fuck do you get wanted for racketeering in Mexico? You know, like you really have to be some sort of fucking scumbag to get wanted for racketeering in fucking Mexico. But nonetheless, these guys will go out and fucking defend you. Why? Because they're fucking brainless they're brainless fucking groupthink fucking commies. You know, fucking idiots.
Absolute ridiculousness, and they were straight up a bunch of 12-year-old chicks. I mean,
2 pounds of coke, and he's a professor, but he was found to have.
What do you think that
right.
going through their mind? Like, what do you think?
I think our sound might be a little bit. Yeah, I think I don't think that they're actually thinking they're accomplishing anything. I think that they're just out there being idiots. Like it's like a kid being told by his parents, like, no, you can't have a cookie, and then the kid just starts throwing shit all over the fucking house and just like throwing a big old temper tantrum, and then all of a sudden the kid's just like, well, this would have never happened if you would have just gave me the cookie. It's like, you really think that that's what you're expecting to have happen? Like you think Donald Trump's gonna be like, oh man, and just foiled again, like, no, like, dude, like this is federal law. Like, this is actual, these are actual crimes. Like, of course, they'll try to argue like, oh, well, these people have been here for years and years and stuff like that. It's like, then why didn't they do anything about it? Like, you literally had 20 fucking years to get your immigration shit in order, and you chose to do nothing about it. Afuera, like, sorry.
Yeah. Agree, and that's actually what I voted for, but it seems though Trump's starting to get a little soft on that situation too, man.
Right. Well, I mean, he hasn't deported, quite as much as people were expecting. Definitely not as much as the left and mainstream media would make it out to be. But I mean, it does seem that he's really just kind of focusing on the people that are actual criminals, actually wanted in other countries and shit like that are just trying to make America their safe haven or something like that. But nonetheless, I mean, he's still doing pretty good, as the polling shows. His approval since these LA riots have been going down has jumped. It's gone up, like, especially in terms of immigration. So I mean, it's I don't know, it's been doing good for him, man.
It might be doing good for him. His polls have gone up, but I don't know about you, but I didn't vote to just deport criminals. It was mass deportations.
Right.
And about getting soft, like I'm saying, he's like, oh, well, I'm getting complaints from farmers and, the hotel and, service industry.
Right.
So we're replace their workers, and people that have been here for 20 years, we're gonna have to do something about that. We can't just get rid of the workers. Like, no, bro, that's not what I want to hear, man. You know what I mean? And
Right?
that's
We're
what
gonna be in economic turmoil.
any person that gets elected, dude, like, it's at some point, it's like you start to lose interest or something. Fuck, I don't know, man. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. I mean, yeah. I guess he's still got plenty of time. I mean, it's only been a couple of months. He's been working rather swiftly. He's still got several years to get plenty more accomplished, and I'm sure it's not like he's going to start pumping the brakes anytime soon. At least Tom Homan's definitely not going to start pumping the brakes anytime soon. So yeah, I'm sure it's definitely going to escalate to the point where we're getting out large swaths of people and shit. But at the meantime, like I said, it does seem like they're really just kind of focusing on the worst of the worst right now. As I don't remember. I'm not going to look it up right now, but we did see a whole, a list of rap sheets of all the people that they were scooping up during these, ice rides and shit like that. And it's pretty heinous stuff,
Yeah, I mean, and he just revoked the visas for 500,000 Venezuelans because finally coming out of court, he was told, yep, he has the power to do this.
Right.
So at least there's rescinding that, and he's already hit about 100,000.
Right.
So, I mean,
and dude, like that's the best part too. We're literally seeing ICE just hanging out outside a fucking court or fucking what is the start of the LA riots? Because they went to a fucking Home Depot to go scoop up motherfuckers. Dude, like,
that wasn't even real. Like,
I know, but I mean, still, that's the
story that made it pop off, and
Right.
that's the whole changing the chip thing. Like, it doesn't even have to be reality. All they got to do is fucking make the lie big enough, and like it just insert the chip, and they'll run with it, dude.
But I mean, nonetheless, dude, they're like fucking getting to like Born in East LA levels and shit, where they're disguising their trucks as bushes, and the Mexicans just coming and jumping into them. They're getting to that level. So I mean, they're like I said, it's not for lack of effort. At least they say it's still early. There's still plenty of time. I'm sure he's gonna come up with much more inventive ways to start to round these people up and shit. And yeah, it's like I said, I don't see Tom Homan pumping the brakes anytime soon. Donald Trump does have his focus kind of in different areas right now, mainly things like the Middle East and shit like that. But yeah, like I said, I think immigration's going pretty smoothly thus far. Minus all the riots and shit like that. But you expected it. We even talked about during Trump's campaign, like logistic or just how do you think it's going to look optically when Donald Trump does start these mass deportations? The left is going to go ape shit. So I mean, it's not like we didn't expect this to happen.
Yeah, and of course they're even running just like we said that they're going to run with the sad stories, their little Elian Gonzalez stories,
right?
And what. And there apparently you have a group of TikTokers all on the same day coming out with their gay little videos where they actually use sound effects from a movie of a child crying to be like, see, he's tearing kids away from their parents. You know what I mean? And then of course you can back search that through Google and pow, it'll bring up where the sound came from. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a movie, man.
All right. It was like fucking during what was it? It was Ukraine, right? They're sending like fucking shots from like video games and shit like that. Like, this is what's taking place right now. Like, no, it's not, dude. That's from a fucking video game. Like, you took it from the preview. Like, the fuck you mean?
Goes to Kiev, man.
Right. Yeah, fucking yeah. People, the world's fucking ridiculous, man. The world is ridiculous. You really can never know, what's actually true. I mean, like I say, you just kind of got to look at it and just like, this shit ain't right.
It's only going to get worse with AI, dude. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's for sure, man.
They're going to be able to convince you did some shit you didn't do.
Right?
Film, man.
Right? I swear I don't remember making that fucking video, dude. I swear I don't know that bitch. Right. Yep, fucking insane shit going on, man. But
like you said,
I pulled up Karen Bass.
Yeah, and she's a straight radical fucking piece.
Right. Well, I mean, that's see, I haven't really read through much of this stuff yet, but there's quite a bit, the stuff that you're bringing up. Let's see, what else we got. The M19 was radicalized by the South Los Angeles Veceremos Brigade. The South Los Angeles Veceremos Brigade. Okay, yeah, it's basically all the same stuff. Let's see what else we got. City council video. Okay.
Hi, Evanston. I'm Mayor Steve Haggerty. 4 years ago, on May 8, 2017, the 80th Evanston City Council was sworn in. I remember the excitement and pride we shared with our families that night in our collective determination to serve our community. The 4 years since that evening have been unlike any other. Together, we faced a global pandemic, racial equity and injustice, growing climate crisis, and threats to our nation's democracy. As a group, we've stepped these historic generational challenges while continuing to do the day-to-day work of making Evanston works for all.
So pretty much what they're saying is we're about to get a whole lot of fucking taxpayer money right now. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, they've
Laura Loomer says Karen Bass, the Democrat mayor of LA, just retained. Yeah, I think we're having a sound difference here. I think we're having some sort of fucking delay. Well, let me
every time. Technical, testing.
Testicle difficulties here. Sorry about that, you guys. But pull this back up. Let's see. So Laura Loomer says Karen Bass, the Democrat mayor of LA, just retained a woke Democrat, anti-white, pro-BLM, and pro-radical reparations Illinois-based consulting firm called at Haggerty Consult. Let's see. Haggerty Consulting helps clients plan for respond to recover from and mitigate against the impacts of disasters like Democrat policy. So to oversee the rebuild of areas in the Palisades of Los Angeles destroyed by the recent wildfires, the communist mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, just announced yesterday that she has selected Haggerty Consulting to assist with infrastructure restoration and environmental mitigation in LA. Nobody bothered to look into this firm, so I did. Haggerty Consulting will conduct full project management in coordination with all private and public entities, the mayor said Friday. The work of rebuilding public infrastructure will also fall under Haggerty, Bass said. Haggerty Consulting was founded by Steve Haggerty and his wife, Lisa. That was actually my high school biology teacher's name, Steve Haggerty. Funny. But anyway, and his wife, Lisa Altenburn. Stephen Haggerty was the 21st mayor of Evanston, Illinois from May 8th, 2017 to May 10th, 2021. As Mayor Haggerty created a reparations program for Black residents. The Evanston Reparations Committee was established by the City Council of Evanston, Illinois in 2019 as the first publicly funded reparations program for Black Americans in the U.S. During the George Floyd riots, Haggerty supported BLM and encouraged people to march, aka Riot for Social Justice and police reform, which included making all police officers wear body cameras. As mayor, Haggerty supported Green New Deal initiatives and pushed for his city to fight climate change with renewable energy. Haggerty and his Illinois-based firm are now in charge of overseeing the environmental aspect of the rebuild in the Palisades and all project management on California taxpayers' dime. Haggerty is also part of George Soros's Open Society Foundation's major exchange program. Karen Bass had previously said that she thinks that maps of LA were drawn to protect the wealth of white people and destroy the wealth of Black people and other people of color. Interesting. The same thing as what is that? Fucking the highways are racist.
Yeah, booty judge, dude. The fucking overpasses.
Right,
Sure.
right. Yeah, same logic here. But Bass has hired pro reparations firm out of Democrat stronghold Illinois to oversee the rebuild of LA. So okay, blah blah blah. President Donald Trump, JD Vance must stop all federal funds from being used to fund racist woke consulting firm tied to California Governor Gavin Newsom's mega donors in the Pritzker family. As J.B. Pritzker is the governor of Illinois, and Haggerty Consulting is an Illinois-based Democrat consulting firm whose founder supports radical reparations. It's worth noting that in November 2024, just days after the presidential election, Gavin Newsom purchased a $9 million California home from the Pritzker family and was exclusively reported by Loomer Unleashed. All right. So that's one thing. That's another thing that I was thinking too, is just like, dude, honestly, fucking cut California off, dude. Like, let them burn their fucking shit to the ground, and then we're not gonna fucking fund any of your rebuilding. Not a single fucking dime of it. Like, you get it from your fucking local taxpayers, you know? Shit, pay for that shit yourself. Like, no, fuck you. You ain't getting no fucking federal disaster funds. Absolutely not. You know, especially because you guys lit these fires yourselves. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, guess what? there's still not water in the motherfucking hydrants.
I bet there isn't, man. I wouldn't doubt it. I fucking wouldn't doubt it, man. These people are fucking absolutely insane. I mean, it's a fine line that they walk between, evil and retarded. It's somewhere in between there. That's where they dwell. And these people, it's all just planned. Of course, the whole thing with the riots and shit like that. As we see, there's people over here with bringing gas masks and PPE and all that type of shit to these rioters, so that way they don't have to fucking go home. They could just keep on keeping on and shit. You don't have to worry about the tear gas. So yeah, like I say, obviously it's organized. Obviously they knew that they wanted this to happen, but I mean, like I said, nonetheless, it's not like we didn't know it was going to happen as well. I think Donald Trump's actually doing a pretty good job so far.
I mean, I've said the whole time that the Don's doing a good job. The dude fucking he's a machine, right? But as usual, spineless Republicans are fucking it up, and you have a lot of police officers, especially in California, the sheriffs and whatnot, that refuse to cooperate. You know what I mean, with ICE or with federal agents. And even when they do, you got so-called leaders like Karen Bass that has them stand down. It's just going to be a constant battle unless you take full control and flex the muscle of the power that was given to you. And we
Right.
know Trump is regardless of the screams of fascism. If anything, even in his first term up until this point, he's been too reserved with that power, and they're going to call him a fascist and try to impeach him and fuck up his administration regardless of what he does. He doesn't got to worry about re-election again. Fuck, just go ham. Just go ham, dude.
Great. Yep, but I mean, at the same time, how there's still always the possibility, of how long is it going to be until it's just until it cracks. I mean, at least like I say, Donald Trump, he's still trying to do the best that he can. He's still not being full on authoritarian. He's definitely going a different route than he did last time, but he's not trying to change the United States fundamentally in that sort of way. He's just trying to change us, through policy, through just the movement in general. I don't think he's trying to actually change, I think he's trying to abide by the rules, at least, to an extent. He's definitely using stuff that hasn't been used in quite some time. He's definitely taken a lot more liberties, a lot more action than he did before. But I don't think he's trying to fundamentally, change the way that things operate to an extent to where it would be construed by anybody. I mean, of course, everything is construed by the left as fascism, but in a general sense, as turning America into more of a fascist state.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's not even necessarily a fascist state to crack down, and I agree with what you're saying, but I want to see it go further, man. You know what I mean? Like we've said since the election season, like we want the Trump that the left thinks that he is, and
Right.
the complacency, even with we still got time. You got to remember, it's already coming into that season again, for midterms. And
Right. I'm already getting the commercials all day.
yeah, and not only you got that time to where even your own party, which not like they're doing much fucking to begin with, but they're going to cooperate even less because they got to worry about winning elections. Their attention's going to be diverted, and they're going to be worried about image. You know what I mean? And then you also have to know that if Democrats take any kind of power in this next midterm, that's going to be the immediate shit. Everything's going to be put completely on stop, total break, and impeachments and inquiries and you know what I mean? It's going to start all over again, man.
Right. Well, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, Democrats' approval as Donald Trump's is going up, it continues to fall down. So, I mean, it really is looking like Donald Trump might be able to hold it, and it's still
it'd be
too early
great.
to tell, but
Right, it'd be great, but historically that's not the case. You know what I mean?
Right.
With Biden leaving office right now, he just left with a Republican fucking Congress, and Trump before that, obviously the Democrat fucking legislature. Hence the reason he was being impeached multiple times. You know what I mean? Barack Obama, same thing. He left with a Republican fucking Congress. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. But I mean, nonetheless, I mean, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Trump, man. I mean, it's a really fucking rare thing that anybody wins the presidency, loses the following one, and then wins the next one. You know, like that's unheard of as well, too. You know, so I mean, if anybody's going to get it accomplished, it's going to be fucking Trump. You know, like I said, as long as he's still trying to maintain, you know, this whole image of, you know, I ain't here to fucking, you know, completely. He's not trying to be the bull in the china shop. You know, he's trying to be, you know, I don't know, fucking Ferdinand, just like delicate with it, you know, but still nonetheless a powerful force in the office, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, though, I know what you're saying, but I don't want to see it. I want to see fucking heads cracked, dude.
Right?
You know
I want to see fucking heads rolling, man.
Yeah. I don't want to see big-eyed federal agents on talk shows. I don't want to see fucking, you know, AGs on fucking Fox. None of that. I want these motherfuckers head down, working, getting shit done, dude. Like, I mean, regardless of a 4-year term, we know we're limited as far as that's concerned. And, you know, time's ticking, man.
Yep. Shit, let me pull up this weirdo fucking commie Democrat senator that apparently went crazy at a fucking Kristi Noem press briefing. Alex Padilla.
I love, of course, you know, Newsom and, you know, fucking Hakeem Jeffries. This is an attack on democracy. You guys got to remember that this senator was not elected. Okay. He was appointed by Gavin Newsom to take Kamala's seat when she fucking, you know, unbeknownstly, even probably to her, rose to the station of VP. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, this is not an elected official, even though he's, you know, the senior senator, he was placed there.
All right, let me get this bit.
Secretary, I want to know why you insist so I want to say thank you to every single person that has been able to do this. Hands up. Also, I want to talk to Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary because the fact of the matter is, I have a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to talk about
hands off.
Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go, put them behind my back. All right.
Cool. Okay, other hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
Boom! They should have catapulted it over to Mexico.
Right. So as the side says here, because what the Democrats are trying to say is like, oh, he was just, you know, asking questions. You know, he wasn't trying to disrupt anything like that. But as we see from this video here, it's as the person says, no, Alex Padilla attempted to interrupt a press conference through a stage act of disorderly conduct, then resisted arrest and assaulted federal agents. No one is above the law, right? As Democrats like to point out.
Yeah, good times, man. And like I said, this dude was appointed, so people didn't even know who the fuck he was. You know what I mean? I bet you never heard of that dude until this moment. You know what I'm saying? And so it was the same for them. I'm a senator. Like, sure you are, buddy. And that's exactly what happened. They detained him. They fucking came to the conclusion of who he actually was. And then they let him go. Of course, no charges. Whereas, you know, if something happened like that to where you were thought to be Russian Kristi Noem, if you made it out of the building, you know, you would definitely get charges. Unless you're a Democrat.
Let's see if I could find. All right. Let me see if I can find. If I can.
Some erections.
So many some erections. Hakeem Jeffries.
This is an affront to democracy.
Right. It's because people just hate democracy.
And that referendum,
and that really is the reason that the Democrats are you know, having their whole shit fit right now. That's the whole reason that they're allowing you know, and supporting these riots across the country right now is because we're deporting their fucking voter base. Right. And they know it. That's exactly why they're having these sorts of fucking meltdowns to where they're willing to, you know, send people in to go fucking disrupt press conferences. Because, of course, this press conference did not have a Q&A section. It was literally just, you know, her coming out, stating what's going on, and then see ya, you know. So, yeah, it's not like anybody was going to be able to. So as we're seeing, these Democrats are just trying to like, oh, I'm going to use my authority as a elected official, right? We saw what was her name? Fucking Maxine Waters trying to, I need to use my authority to go in this, and they slam the door in her face and say, get out of here. Like my congressional authority. Like you don't, that's not a fucking thing. You made that up right now. Like, what are you talking about? Get out of here, lady. You fucking weirdo.
If you want a tour of the building, you got to go through proper channels.
Right. We're a little bit busy at the moment though. So,
yeah,
get lost.
And again, like we talked about last week, I mean, you know, that chick right there, that's a rabble rouser, has done nothing but, you know, for real seditious acts and, you know, words on a daily basis, and just got fined $68,000. That if, you know, if she was a Republican, she'd be going to prison for several years, like a Dinesh D'Souza, right? But you know, they continue to flout the shit right in front of your face, and this is the kind of stuff that, you know, you can't stand. Again, you know, it's only been so many months, I understand, but how many like ethics violations and fines and shit like that can someone be racked up before it's like you're a fucking blatant criminal? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you're not allowed to hold public office.
Right. If I can get lost, man. It's
I don't care if you're fucking black. I don't care if you're fucking 90. You know what I'm saying? You're out of here, man.
Right, fucking black, gay, and ancient.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public appeal.
I need to get in.
Why the long face? Yeah, this lady's fucking
We can't be
insane.
intimidated. We've got to get the people out. We've got to get the elected officials out. We've got to resist him. I'm going back out into the communities where ICE was last night to make sure people know that their elected officials are standing with them. Thank you.
What's your next step now?
I'm going out to Lenox and to Paramount, Watts, and South Central where they were last night to see if ICE is back out there.
How about
on?
Right? It's funny, but at the same time, she's also trying to tell us like these are just a few isolated incidents. They're taking place in just one small spot, and they're just blowing it out of. You just named like fucking 5 different neighborhoods where fucking riots are taking place right now. Like,
He's literally just straight up saying that was all made up. Use your own eyes. There was no violence.
Right.
No acts of violence were committed.
right? She's trying to make it seem like they're just around the ICE detention facility. That's all. No violence taking place. And she actually told you, don't believe the things that you're hearing and the things that you're seeing. Don't like. It's like, are you serious? You're really telling us not to believe our lying eyes and ears and just listen to your fucking, California raisin ass? Like, no, I'm cool.
Yeah, it's it's the memory hole. We've always been at war with Eurasia, and at the same time, through all these riots, there's still every day you got a different Democrat fucking reptile on TV saying, "Well, January 6th is like, dude, 5 years ago for fucking 2 hours." You know what I'm saying? Some people got out of hand, but we've been burning the country down for 9 fucking years, so that should be completely excused because January 6th is. You know what I mean? And they're trying to rewrite it. Even Pelosi on there, like, we begged Trump for the National Guard. Like, dude, it's in paperwork that you turned it down. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, during the like, fucking, there's no National Guard brought out on January 6th. It's because you fucking, you wanted to stoke the flames,
Right. You did that intentionally. That's it's all political theater. It's like the Trump and the Butler situation. Who does
did
96
not create
rounds.
any violence. Nobody was shot. Nobody was killed. Get it in your head. And so when martial law is called, what are you going to say? I missed the point. Don't miss the point, you all. Don't think that somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence. I was on the street. I know. And I went from downtown detention back out into the community, talking to people, what happened in Paramount, what happened in Compton, what happened in Inglewood. So, first of all, get it straight. And don't just rely on what you're being told or the few incidents that you saw.
Nothing. Don't rely on what you've heard or the incidents that you've seen with your own eyes. That didn't happen. That's not real. Okay, it's AI.
Right on cue, man. And the SEALs are right there eating it up, man.
Right, fucking clapping away.
Yeah. Crabs in a bucket.
is the same lady, of course, that went out and shouted, "If you see anybody from that cabinet at a gasoline station and a grocery store, you get out and you make a crowd and you tell them they're not welcome here." Like, yeah, this is the same fucking lady that's been calling for violence for years.
And take Trump out tonight,
right? Like, yeah, of course. Obviously, we don't think that she's going to go out and take Donald Trump out, but nonetheless, the things that she says, it's the what is it, stochastic terrorism, it's the stuff that incites this, the fact that she's down there in solidarity with these people that are burning down the city that she claims to represent. It's basically, like I said, she's just showing solidarity with them. They want this.
How long before she's on the inner zones posting fucking links to bail these people out? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, fucking they're already seeing people like, oh, if you get arrested for anything here, call this number for legal help. Call this number for legal help. They'll bail you out and shit. It's like, fuck yeah, I kind of want to just spam call them over and over and over again, just like, fuck it, let's take up their lines, boys. But yeah, definitely don't believe your lying eyes and ears. So there's another aspect to it that I want to talk a little bit about is the invasion aspect, right? Because of course we saw President of Mexico, what is it, Claudia Sheinbaum?
Sheinbaum, Jesus,
right.
Fucker.
Right, she's out there advocating for these people as well. And again, President of Mexico. Not America, not a state, within the United States, not a representative of anybody in the United States. She is the president of a foreign nation whose flags are being waved all over this fucking city as these, people go and burn down buildings and attempt to fight and stop federal, workers from being able to, federal law enforcement from being able to do their job. Right? They're literally over here advocating for the destruction of the American rule of law.
Yeah, and her whole call to fucking battle was, we don't want remittances on our people, like as if our money going out of the country is copacetic for us to begin with. But then you get, as a citizen, you get taxed on every fucking thing you do or make, and you should just let those billions escape scot-free, man.
Right.
What does it say? It's like 20.
Because if necessary,
like 20% of
Wait, what is it?
Mexico GDP is fucking dollars being sent out of America.
Yeah, and that's not even counting the fucking drug money.
Right.
All right, but yeah, so let's go ahead and listen to what she got to say real quick. Of course, as we said, she's in solidarity with the people here in the United States who are protesting for people to leave her country because they are saying that her government is committing things worthy of political asylum against them. Right?
Because if necessary, we will mobilize, because we do not want taxes on remittances from our compatriots in the United States to Mexico.
Cambie tu tono, no te olvides que yo te di todo. Fueron las noches foros, no vieron y loco. Todas las noches que lloras, que estando estas horas, con toda la escuadra que tú traes. Okay, you win, bitch, you're right. Take all of me.
So yeah, yep. So I don't think obviously there's going to be anything taking place between the United States and like, oh, this is acts of war or anything like that. I honestly don't think anything like that's going to actually happen. But nonetheless, that's still an angle that can be played. Of course, it is interesting. We're not still doing anything to actually fight.
It's just tactical strikes. Fuck.
Right. Let's go tactically fucking strike some, cartels over there just across the border. Like why can't we tactical strike shit next door, but we can still, pay for other people to tactically strike, shit on the other side of the globe.
Claudia Sheinbaum doesn't sound too Mexican.
All right. She's Mexico Jew, man. She's the rare breed.
Right. He's one of the
The
lost
Mex-
tribes, man.
All right. The Mexijews. But anyway, ready to go talk about the fucking Jews and the fucking sand niggers? No, that's it. Demonetized.
YouTube's banned, dude. Fucking out of here, bro.
Yeah, we're far enough in. They're not going to pay attention this far. But either way, we said it a couple shows ago too. I don't care. See you, YouTube.
For educational purposes, man.
Right, man. It's a term of endearment, you know.
Yeah. Spread it
All right,
on to the Dunekins, dude. Let's rock and roll, man. You got some footage pulled? Fucking
Not
explosion. Tel Aviv
not
and
yet.
Toronto.
Go ahead and rap on it, man. I'll pull some stuff up.
So, of course, as usual, like I was stating earlier, our greatest ally always seems to fucking do what's not best for us, right? As we got the old Don out here trying to work his magic with the deal with Tehran to, basically like a true nuclear treaty rather than the sham that Boltneck and Obama put forth previously. It seems that they've fallen out a couple of times, but it seemed like they were, really coming to some common ground. And just as Trump's saying it's going good, bam, you got Israel, lighting Tehran up. Apparently they had a bunch of drones that they've been smuggling into the country for an extended period now. And, of course, they called it out at one time and just started hitting everything, including high rises where cabinet members were housed. And they also pulled the sham that it seems to work every time on the sub 80 IQs there. That they threw out some kind of announcement to get them all together or in the same area, and then just start annihilating the joint, man. And that's a perfect sum up, dude, for the American fucking neocons here. Lindsey Graham immediately on there, like, we got to pray for Israel as they murder people, right?
Right.
They're calling it a preemptive strike, but I mean, we know what this is. This is an uncalled for strike. I mean, and they do the old, well, they're the greatest fucking terrorists. I mean, it seems like a little different than that from the outside. I don't know about you guys, and I'm surely not with, the Muslims. I mean, they're savages as well. I've stated it
Right.
repeatedly. I don't want anything to do with either, but Trump obviously had something to do with it because they close our consulates and pull American assets the fuck out of all over the Middle East.
All right. So how well informed do you think Trump was? Because of course they're already saying that, this has been in plan for, what is it, 8 months? Well, Donald Trump hasn't been president for 8 months. So I mean, obviously this had to have been being coordinated before Donald Trump took office. So how much do you think that Trump actually was in on the whole thing? Because of course the other angle is that he said, you got 60 days to decide, on a nuclear deal in Iran, and that 60 days just so happened to take place on the day that the strike took place.
Yeah, and he said something really bad's going to happen. You guys you're not even going to know what hit you. I mean, obviously he was to a certain extent. I mean, enough to make sure that our assets were pulled out and out of the way. But again, I mean, he was in negotiation and that they were coming to some common ground. So I'm sure he had a clue, but I don't know if he thought it was going to go this fucking far. Because basically, if I understand, they killed the entire cabinet, some nuclear scientists, the top general.
Like 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got like 3 of the top generals there. So I mean, it really was
one, though. You know what I mean? Like the fucking imperial commander type of shit. You know what I mean?
Right, chosen by fucking Muhammad himself.
Yeah.
He's definitely fucking heir to the bullshit throne.
To the 72 fucking haggis fucking versions, dude.
Right. It's all right, man. He's fucking getting his 40-year-old virgins right now.
I don't know if I'm fucking up the sound right now. I apologize to anyone watching if I am, man. We're in Arizona. It's hot as hell.
Oh, no worries, man. Either way, it's all 5 of you guys, man. If you were ruining your night, man, just go ahead and let us know. Not a big deal, but either way. So this is in Tel Aviv. This is just the first one that popped up. But ultimately, Israel, as you mentioned, did strike preemptively. So if you don't know, preemptively means before the other side did anything. So basically, we just started striking. Well, not Israel,
We,
but
we think they're considering striking us, so we're just gonna murder
right.
everyone.
Right. We heard we say they were looking at me wrong. So, I fucking just went up and fucking punched them in the face real quick, and then tried to walk away. I don't think they're going to try and follow me home or anything like that. So this is them following them home. All right, so the caption up on the top says, Tel Aviv, Israel was struck by another Iranian missile. It's highly unlikely this would have occurred if Joe Biden and Barack Obama hadn't provided Iran with billions and billions of dollars.
Dude, I gotta say, bro, they always talk about that, and obviously I'm no Barack fucking Hussein's supporter, but I mean,
right.
Again, he worked out some behind the deal fucking, a sham of an agreement. It wasn't a treaty because they bypassed Congress, but the money, the pallet of cash that he sent over there was theirs, that we basically took control of, seized their assets, and we're like, you can't have your own money. And the dude gave them their cash. Regardless of how that sounds or what they did with it, it's fucking their money, bro.
Right. But, I mean, nonetheless, finders keepers in some senses,
I mean, to an extent,
conquerors keepers. All right, figure winners weepers, something like that.
I mean, something, because it was legit. Like, okay, you invest your money with us, like, fuck you, you're gonna get rich, and it's like, oh, I'm mad at you, so I'm taking it all. You know what I mean?
Right. Not like it's the first time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. It really just does show the corruptness of America is the most trustworthy fucking nation on the face of the planet. At least that seems to be the sentiment, man. I mean, of course, if you try to fucking leave, if you try to leave the fucking farm, we're gonna kill your ass. But nonetheless, nobody seems to want to actually fucking, like, fuck, dude, where are we gonna go? China? Like, you're really gonna trust their fucking numbers, dude? Like, yeah, they're good at math, but they're good at manipulating shit too,
According to Tim Walz today, that should be the moral authority of the world, bro.
Right. Yep. Fucking China, man. But yeah, so I mean, it really does show you just how bad fucking the world is when America is the fucking moral authority of the world, and actually on a legit scale, like not just like oh, we're so great. Like, no, obviously we're corrupt as fuck, but everywhere else is way more fucking corrupt than we are,
Fucking tampons, Tims, dude.
Right. Man, what video game is this from? Let's see. So, Iran providing its aerial. Wait, hold on, one more time.
I think that's an F-13 Hellcat. I think Iran's like the last country on the planet using those jets.
Yeah.
Last
year. Shit.
Right, you see, I mean, they're hitting them with fucking, tracer rounds. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get 15 with that, dude, unless it's just luck.
Let's see. Fucking old tampon Timmy. China might be the voice in the world for that and can negotiate some type of moral authority.
Fuck, man.
Right?
Could you possibly
pop up right there?
Show your communist colors anymore, dude? Like, I mean, Chris Plant had a great point, dude. Like, the parties need to be switched on the color scale because the Democrats definitely red because they're communist to the fucking core, dude.
Right. Yeah, they fucking live, breathe, eat shit, and eat the shit communism, man. Like, they're full on fucking human centipedes of communism.
Yeah. Shit eater.
You don't have to love Israel. You have to love yourself.
That's it, to arrange. You don't have to love Israel. You have to love yourself, your daughters, your mothers. Rise against the oppressors, the Ayatollah. Iran in 1970, you were booming. Your ladies were treated and respected, dignity, blah, blah, blah. So just, Iranian propaganda. And as we mentioned, I don't care. We're not fucking, we're not yarmulke wearers, And at the same time, we're not fucking Akbar, we're American as fuck. So ultimately, the propaganda. Right, what?
No kafayas, no yarmulkes, man.
Right. Yeah, the propaganda we're looking for is we don't belong there, man. ain't got shit to do with us, man. Not our war.
I mean, not to mention, that this whole fucking thing has been a sham for, decades, with 40 years. Like, I have, screenshots of newspaper clippings from 1985 when they're like, Iran's 6 months away from a nuclear bomb. They've literally been saying this shit for, 40 years, man.
All right. They ain't going to figure it out, man. They don't know shit. Fucking, I don't know. I mean, ultimately, if they were over there hitting their nuclear sites, I mean, again, it's they're their own fucking country. I don't think they do anything good with a nuclear bomb, but
absolutely not. I mean, they want to tell you that it's medical research, but they're not curing cancer. They're trying to create fucking weapons of mass destruction, man.
Right.
And regardless of how you feel about fucking, the old Israel's it's we're talking about terrorists. You know what I mean? And then just so people know, like, true Iranians are white, man. You know what I mean? Like, Iran comes from the term Aryan. You know what I mean?
So anyway, this is what's taking place in Israel. So of course, with Israel, they do have their whole Iron Dome that we fund for them and everything, but nonetheless, some stuff does get through.
Dude, Mark Levin there, that piece of shit.
Which one?
Right there.
This guy. Let's see.
Once the genie is
see, the Israel discussion is so corny, honestly.
out of the box, it's out of the box. Well, Iran would never attack us. Really? They attacked us before. Ask the people in New York City if that's what they think. Ask the people in Northern Virginia if that's what they think. Ask the people in Central Pennsylvania. I stand for defending the American people. That's the job of the American government. Congress, the executive branch, all of it. We the people, our national security. What is in our best interest is to make sure they never get the bomb. And stop pussyfooting around with other terrorist organizations and putting pressure on Israel. Israel, you need to commit suicide. No, they don't. No, they shouldn't. And tens of millions of us stand with the United States and Israel, not with Qatar or Hamas or Iran or Saudi Arabia. No, we don't. That's the truth. We have a midterm election coming up in the not so distant future. We better damn well win that thing, or we're going to be spending 2 years after that election on subpoenas, on indictments, on charges, on investigations, on impeachment. And the Democrats will destroy our agenda, the tremendous Trump agenda. And it is tremendous. It is historic. But if we play footsies with the enemy because of a small cabal of fifth column isolationists who don't know anything from anything, who walk around sloganeering like Marxists, forever wars, neocon, like that's a response to Iran that's trying to muscle up with nuclear weapons, we're going to get our asses kicked. That's the truth. I know. I speak to people every day on my radio show. There are millions and millions of them. They agree with me.
Israel
that's some neocon stuff. I'm sure Ben Shapiro's on his side.
Oh yeah, of course, man. And this is how do you in Trump's agenda with fucking, or the midterms? Well, we better win. This is like fuck. It has nothing to do with Israel, son. You know what I mean?
Right.
40 Yeah, I mean, I'm not naive. I know it does because what is it, like 70% of fucking, Congress has ties to Israel in some form, fucking, you know what I mean? Whether it's funding or citizenship or what have you. And, we need to get rid of that shit, man.
Let's see what Kerry Lake's got to say on the situation. Let's see, as our ally Israel is bombarded by missiles from Iran, it is protected by the miracle of national defense called the Iron Dome. Ruben Gallego supported the disastrous Iran deal and voted against Israel's Iron Dome. Once again, his priorities are all wrong. My heart goes out to Israel. So that was Kerry Lake. Of course, Ruben Gallego was the person that she lost to for the Senate seat here in Arizona. But yep, I mean, obviously, like I said, there's
Gallego fucking wasn't even around when the fucking whole Iran deal was happening. That was through the Obama term. Like, no one even know who the fuck Gallego was, bro.
Right. So yeah, ultimately she's just out here trying to flap her gums a little bit.
She's got Gallego fucking derangement syndrome. You know what I mean? People talking about the guy, like, bruh, move on, man.
Right. It's done, man. It's done. Right. Just call it a day. Right.
My heart goes out to Israel as they attack a country that didn't attack them. Fuck yeah. You know
right.
what I mean?
But it was preemptive, bro. Like that's like a whole different level, man.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that, we should, let, I guess, I mean, let, right, a sovereign country get these nuclear weapons, but that's your neighbor, bro. Deal with it. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna say, okay, well they are, but they're trying to drag us in, dude. Like that's been the whole point.
All right, let me see if I could let's see, missiles launched from Iran, Israel reported. Both countries have emergencies declared. It was a preemptive strike after IRGC praying no World War III footage from Tehran. Nicholas Patch reportedly hit as well, unconfirmed though. So yep, this is just going to keep on going, man. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And I'm pretty sure just like I said, we're definitely always going to be against it. We don't want our funding. We don't want our troops. We don't want any of this shit to do with foreign nations that really should not have any sort of sway with the United States. But nonetheless, it is what it is. It's like I said, it's gonna happen. The United States is gonna fund Israel. I mean, it's just it's not like we didn't expect it.
Trump doesn't seem that happy about the situation, man. You know what I mean? I mean, he pulls the card like, well, they're our allies, whoop do, but at the same time, I mean, he's cut communication apparently with Netanyahu. I mean, he fired a member of his own cabinet for conversing with Netanyahu behind his back. You know what I mean? And the first term, I mean, he seemed like he was, the Israel puppet that some spoke of him as, but this time around, it seems a little different, man.
Well, that's what they're also trying to say too. Is they're trying to say that, oh, that was all a ruse, man. We were just trying to get you guys fucking with your defenses down. Like we were trying to act like Donald Trump didn't want nothing to do with this. He knew the whole time, man. He was right there planning it with us. That's what Israel's trying to say right now. Is that they're trying to say like, oh, that was the reason that we had that falling out type thing, is because we wanted Iran to get comfortable and think that nothing was going on. But really, we've been planning this together for 8 months now. And then, of course, I'm trying to see if I could find what Trump had to say.
That'd be terrible if that's the situation, dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for the simple fact that it would just be a case of, the old switcheroo, like no new wars. We didn't pull the trigger. It was Israel, but, you help plan it, fund it with intelligence and, assets or what have you. And like I said, again, knew enough to get our assets out of the way. So.
Let me see if I could find Trump's reaction. I'm not finding it, but
by omission.
See, we remain committed to a diplomatic resolution to the Iran nuclear issue. My entire administration has been directed to negotiate with Iran. They could be a great country, but they first must completely give up hopes of obtaining a nuclear weapon. Thank you for your attention to this matter. See, so Trump vowed to negotiate with Iran and find a solution. So, yeah, basically, that's it's the art of the deal, bro. That's what they're trying to say it was. It says the art of the deal, man. He's trying to fucking just like, oh, you guys better come up with a deal. You know, you better come up with it fast, otherwise, you know, something, you know, you're gonna lose everything. And you know, that's what they're trying to say, is that was his strategy was basically you know, just make it seem like, oh, well, we're gonna try and hold off Israel and shit like that. But meanwhile, they've been like, fuck it, we're gonna do it anyway. They ain't gonna come up with no deal. They ain't gonna sign shit, you know.
Yeah. And you know, you got to give the Israel apparatus one up where they deserve, right? Masters of espionage and propaganda.
Right. It was precise, man. It was precise.
I mean, you think about a lockdown country like Iran, and you know, they were able to stockpile drones in the country. You know what I mean? Over an extended period of time. I mean, I've heard, like you're saying, 8 months. I actually heard
moments ago
estimate of a year it took planning moving all these drones into place and shit.
Yeah. Let's see. So here's Netanyahu's response, or you know, is basically explanation as to why they struck Israel or struck Iran. So it's about 7 minutes long. I don't know if we're definitely not going to listen to the whole thing. The official language is Israeli, and Israel is Hebrew. So why is he speaking English? My lucky guess that this video is for Israelis. It's propaganda for Americans. Let's see.
Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with never taken before steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear to be a victim of a nuclear
weapons of mass destruction
perpetrated by the Iranian regime.
All right, let me see if I search up Trump. Let's see what this one is.
Now, where do you see the numbers?
But do you think, I'm going to ask you, if I may, do you think the reputation of the United States...
Okay, yeah, that's not the right one. Let me see if that one pulls up anything. Yep, not finding much on it. Well, anyway, that's what, you know, I've been hearing people saying. It's the theories people have been spouting.
Right, it's always like that, right? It's always Trump's fault. I mean, they found a way to try to blame Trump for plane crash in India. You know what I mean?
Right. Let's see. Rubio says, a statement from Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Right. It says, tonight Israel took unilateral action against Iran. We are not involved in strikes against Iran, and our top priority is protecting American forces in the region. Israel advised us that they believed this action was necessary for its self-defense. President Trump and the administration have taken all necessary steps to protect our forces and remain in close contact with our regional partners. Let me be clear, Iran should not target U.S. interests or personnel. So let's see, that's a statement from Marco Rubio.
No, America's going to feel it too. You know what I mean?
Right, of course. Let's see. This person says, we've got this nice little map here with all the American bases. See, Israel, in a blatant act of state terrorism, has bombed Tehran. That's right, people, at 8:37 p.m. Eastern EDT, whatever time. Israel attacked another of their neighbors. This was an unprovoked, deliberate attack of war by any metric. Iran has the right of self-defense. Israel should expect retaliation. Well, definitely they should expect retaliation. I mean, that's what do you expect? Like we said, you killed like your top 3 fucking generals and a whole bunch of other people and shit like that. What did you expect? Hey, what?
Apparently, it's the entire cabinet.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. And this one's from it's like a month ago. All right, let's see. Senator Andy Kim's statement on Israel's strikes inside Iran, Washington, D.C. Let's see. So Trump made it very clear that not only was he informed in advance about the Israel attacks, but that he joined Israel in obfuscating about their plans. POTUS was key to Israel's success. Is Senator Andy Kim too dumb to understand this, or too media mendacious? Jersey deserves better. Let's see. So Senator Andy Kim says, I am closely monitoring developments in the Middle East following Israel's strikes on targets inside Iran. Iran should know that any targeting of U.S. forces and personnel stationed across the Middle East as retaliation for Israel's actions would be a grave mistake. I urge the Trump administration to ensure that the protection of our personnel is our top priority. This action, ordered by Prime Minister Netanyahu, appears deliberately undermine ongoing American diplomatic negotiations about Iran's nuclear program, with the latest talks scheduled for this weekend. Conflict should always be a last resort, especially when diplomacy is ongoing. This decision by Netanyahu to go against American efforts and go alone in strikes puts American and Israeli lives on the line. We should do everything we can to stop this moment from spiraling into a wider conflict and bringing parties back to the table to ensure Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. So how willing of a participant do you think Iran is right now in denuclear or a nuclear deal talk?
I mean, I'm sure they're hesitant. You know what I mean? Because of, like you were saying earlier, like the deals we've worked with not only them but other countries, and then we renege on or rescind. And then not to mention the fact that their greatest fucking adversary, Israel, is obviously nuclear armed. So there's that as well. I mean, but at the same time, they're tiny, and if we remove sanctions, they would just rake it in. I mean, they're petrol rich. They could make some serious dollars on the world market. So it's kind of a mixed bag. But and I'm sure they're leaning more towards financial health for their country themselves, their countrymen, so on. But like I said, they don't want to be seen as soft, easily cowable, bitches of the Middle East either. So
Right. I mean, no nation does it. I mean, that's why we always say, like when it comes to even Putin and shit like that, like even after shit calms down, it's not like he's gonna just like forget, like, let bygones be bygones. Like, dude, like we definitely contributed a lot to all the shit that took place over there. So I mean, why would we think that anything's gonna be any different right here?
Yeah, they either want to feel or at least be able to broadcast the illusion of dealing from a position of strength.
Right.
I mean, that's how you keep your regime together.
Yep. And at the same time, I mean, you don't want the citizens and stuff to get upset. That's why they're stressing, like, make sure you don't attack American bases or any American trade, anything like that, within the region, as retaliation against Israel, because we're gonna have to fuck you if that takes place, because I mean, the only people that we could let come and just attack American citizens is like Mexico, fentanyl dealers and shit like that. That's the only terrorism we'll tolerate. But anything else, like, nope, we're gonna have to broadcast it all over the news, and we're gonna fucking straight up send fucking troops over.
Yeah, good times, man. But I'm not even sure. I'm not too familiar with that Senator Kim dude. But at the same time, like, I don't see too much of what he said that was too dumb. Unless he's too dumb to the fact that, like you said, it was the whole art of the deal. It was a sham to begin with. A whole lot of us are dumb, right? But that if that's not the case, if it's not the 10D chess, fucking I don't see anything that senator put forth that was dumb. I mean,
right. And see, so you were talking about Syria earlier. I'm trying to see if I could, because you said it was a pretty large explosion that took place today, right?
Yeah, massive. Like I only saw like a still shot, but it was, almost looked like a damn mushroom cloud. It was like, holy shit.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. See, with last night's spontaneous combustion of his top IRGC commander's Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has fled Tehran to Mashhad on the Turkmenistan border. If toppled, whatever, I don't care. Let's see if I could find like a video or something.
There you go.
Yeah, that's for. Let me see.
Was it registered as an earthquake on the Richter scale?
Yeah.
الله يلعنك يا إسرائيل. الله يلعنك يا إسرائيل. الله يلعنك يا إسرائيل.
It's pretty crazy. Let's see. So Israel drops earthquake bomb on Syria, causing a huge mushroom cloud as Americans urged to leave. Israel dropped a bomb on Syria so powerful it reportedly measured on the Richter scale. A video shared online shows the massive explosion as Israel bombarded northwestern Syria near the city of Tartus, said the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. Israeli warplanes launched strikes targeting a series of sites, including air defense units and surface-to-surface missile depots. The War Monitor said Sunday's bombardment was the heaviest strike in Syria's coastal region since the start of strikes in 2012. Yep. So it's World War III, you guys. It's happening. Yeah, there's definitely some crazy shit, man. Let's see. What else you got?
Earthquake bomb, dude. I mean, what the fuck?
Right?
Dude, I mean, bro, I mean, who's actually committing terrorist acts here? I mean, really?
Let me see. So this is another one that you sent me.
Like, we'll blow up half our country, man. I think it's the same one that you just played.
Yeah, let's see. Either way, it's got to update. The explosion in Syria registered a 3.0 magnitude earthquake. For comparison, the Beirut explosion from a few years ago was 3.3. Massive explosion in the Syrian port city of Tartus following an Israeli airstrike on a weapons depot. Israel has been regularly conducting heavy strikes in Syria to remove Syrian military equipment from potential rebel opposition access. At one point last week, they were tracking the tally to more than 300 strikes across the country. We've since lost count and haven't seen an update, but it's clear they're still hitting targets. Yeah, man, I really don't think we should have anything to do with the entire fucking Middle East, man. Like, get rid of all of it. Fuck it, dude. Let them settle their differences, man. And once they start trying to move into, more Western style territories, then we'll go fuck them.
Yeah, it's like, but these cats are going ham, man. Systematically making all the surrounding countries defenseless and shit. Like, so they're wiping out weapon depots, everything. Like, other countries aren't allowed to have militaries and defensive capabilities, right? I mean,
right.
It'd be like us right now. Like, we're going to take out Mexico's army and military bases and Canada's too. Fuck it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't like you guys having all that shit over there, so we're gonna go fuck it up right now. Just it makes me a little bit nervous. All right.
We think that you may consider striking us in the future, man.
Right. So we're gonna go ahead and strike first. It's called preemptively.
Yeah, I mean, obviously America's guilty of that a whole bunch of times, but This is, we're trying to get away from that. That was one of the whole things about the MAGA movement was fucking no new wars. Let's get the fuck out of foreign conflicts, cut off funding to all these places, and build from within, man. And you're saying it. You're saying it.
Doesn't seem to be the reality, though, man. So ultimately, if Iran were to have a nuclear bomb, what do you think they'd do with it? Like, just honestly, what do you think would end up taking place?
I honestly don't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not, I'm not over there. I don't deal with these people, right? I mean, it is Muslims. I mean, they could go full terrorism. So like, we're going to wipe off the Satans or whatever, right? But it could just be like most other countries, use it as a deterrent, and that's your saber for rattling. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's what I would figure. I mean, that really is the best use of a nuclear bomb, is just to have something to fucking rattle at people. Like, hey,
The threat of mutual destruction. I mean, it's supposed to hold back until you feel that you'd have no other choice. You know what I mean?
And then ultimately, with today's technology, I mean, like, we could shoot these things out of the air. Like, we could detect them coming from the moment you launch them, and we see the trajectory they're going down. We could fucking mathematically calculate where we need to fucking fire something, so that way this shit will blow up over an ocean or something.
Right.
So ultimately, they're really not that effective. And at the same time, if you're over here firing off nuclear warheads and stuff at other countries, I mean, shit, dude, fucking, I think the only mutually assured destruction is just going to be the fact that the rest of the fucking world should just collapse in on you, Everybody's like, fuck, dude, these guys are trying to destroy humanity. Like, it's fucking up to humanity. Like, fuck it. We need to destroy this entire nation, turn them to fucking rubble,
Yeah, but, if the Iron Dome teaches you anything, sometimes a couple get through. You know what I mean? And something on that scale, it's really all it takes, I mean, just one good one will send the vast majority of the country to the Stone Age overnight, man.
Right. But I think ultimately, like I said, that mutually assured destruction thing is really just kind of a one-sided. It's really one-sided. The only actual total destruction that's going to be assured is, the person that is sending out the nuclear missiles, because they're going to be just fucking scaring everybody else in the world, and just everybody else in the world, like, fuck it, dude, everybody, all forces, just fucking descend on this fucking nation and shit,
Yeah, and you got to remember that they do business with some of the alternate economies, and some of those alternate economies have impressive militaries as well, hypersonic abilities, and some sail with that, with some centrifuge on there. I mean, we're gonna have some serious problems because we already have generals and majors that have stated on different talk shows that we're outgunned as far as the hypersonic game's concerned.
Yep, and at the same time, just everywhere else in our military, we're low. Like that's another kind of a possibility that I've been thinking, is just a lot of this stuff really is just bleeding America. Fuck it, just bleed America of its resources. We've spent billions and billions and billions of dollars on a fucking absolutely pointless war that went absolutely nowhere, and has basically come up is starting to come up as a net negative for us in Ukraine. And basically, boom, without missing a fucking beat, now we're gonna have to start funding billions and billions of fucking dollars to Israel, so that way they can maintain their shit. Meanwhile, we're already below what we need to be prepared for anything that if we ever need to defend ourselves in some sort of conflict. We're already too low on supplies just to supply our troops, let alone a whole nother fucking war in the Middle East at this point. So yeah, I mean, really, it does kind of make you wonder how much of this is just like, fuck it, dude. Like, we're just keep starting up all these little, shits here and there. So that way we just bleed America dry. And then, by the time we're ready for them, we'll just go fucking hit America hard,
Yeah, I mean, there is that, and you've had the previous administration that just absolutely depleted munitions in favor of, like, Ukraine, which we know, like you just stated, not only a net loss, but you've watched it be just filtered off, sold in the black market, and fuck. I mean, that shit wasn't used for necessarily what it was supposed to be, let alone the loss aspect. And man, it's it's looking rough out here, and you see there's a lot of forces on the planet that definitely, if they're not trying to attack us, they're trying to get us in on a trajectory that's going to destroy ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. And at the same time, dude, this is the one thing that everybody was just like, I mean, of course, the main thing was the economy and immigration, right, during the election. But kind of our main thing was just the fucking no new wars, man. Like, fuck, dude. Like, we keep America out of everybody else's fucking shit in the world. Stop spending fucking millions and millions of dollars on foreign military aid. Sorry, not millions, billions and fucking trillions of dollars on fucking foreign aid. Just make America great again in that aspect. Like that's what we need. We need fucking to not be the world police, and at the same time, we need to bring home American manufacturing, and we need to get these fucking illegal immigrants out of the fucking country. Like that's what we elected you for.
Yeah, and regardless of the words of the reptilian old Mark Levin there, looking out for America first isn't isolation. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's preservation, and it surely isn't anti-Semitism to say someone's a fucking warmonger. You know what I mean? And wanting to not only commit to self-preservation, but to actually fucking trying to dig ourselves somewhat out of debt. It surely isn't the answer to fucking blow the wad on shit that ultimately has nothing to do with us and is not going to affect us. Even ultimately, if Iran did build a nuclear weapon, like you said, at their capability beyond the larger scale, I mean, we can take their shit out easily. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they can't even get really within range with anything that's not going to be able to be shot down at this point. Like, as far as we're concerned, they're still years away from fucking with us.
Right. Yeah. I mean, in fact, they ain't even on our level. I want to see what some of the people are talking about in terms of the Israel-Iran war. Let's see. Switch back over. All right. So Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu shows that Iran nuclear deal is failed. Israel has broken the dreams of Iran to be a nuclear power. Now Iran is unleashing its wrath on Tel Aviv. India always stands with Israel. Okay. Oh, that's what the Indians think. This guy with some of this fucking gibberish on his thing says Tel Aviv, Israel tonight, not Gaza, not Syria, not Yemen, not Iran. This is Tel Aviv right now. Sure, that's what's taking place over there.
It's just
that's really kind of what's always taking place.
Like, hey, we blew up a bunch of people. Now they're attacking us back, man. We're victims. You got to help us with this.
Right.
Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Right. I guarantee you, if it wasn't fucking Saturday, Ben Shapiro would be all right there. Like, I can't believe that they're over here attacking. We did absolutely nothing wrong. Like, this was totally sanctioned and ordered, and everything's great. We've been working on this. It was clean. It was tactical, right? We didn't take out civilians, blah blah blah. Right. I guarantee you, he'd be doing that tomorrow. Like, there should be no reason for them to just be firing indiscriminately into Israel right now.
Right. It's a constant fucking, like I said, memory hole, rewriting of history. And changing, the change of reality, man, into delusion. It's constant. I mean, now they're even claiming that, the Bolshevik fucking revolution wasn't Jews'. Like, bro, like, the Lenin squad was like 70% Jewish. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it came from. Fucking Marx was a Jew, bro. Like, you cats created communism and socialism. Accept it. Everything they're against, they create.
If you don't. Let's see. So Samira says, if you don't know which side to pick, consider this. Israel hit military sites in Iran. Iran hit civilians in Tel Aviv. It is good versus evil, and there is no gray area. I am supporting Israel and you. I don't give a shit who you support. I support America. All right. So the whole preemptive thing, as we talked about, was that, why? Why? Of course, everyone's going to try and make the argument, it's peace through strength and this and that type of shit. This doesn't look like peace at all. It looks like, again, like we're just trying to start, more wars in the Middle East, more conflicts. And Israel's trying to drag America into, more war, more conflict in the Middle East. Because, of course, they have, expansionist ambitions. They want to, I don't know. But either way, looks like we are being dragged into another war in the Middle East.
For Gaza Lago, dude.
Right. Right. Let's see. Anita Sharam says, seeing Israel defense system failed to intercept many Iranian missiles in Tel Aviv, it's another day of thanking Russia's S-400 savior of Indian army. India's defense system is one of the best in the world. Well, that's because fucking this big beautiful bill hasn't passed yet. But just wait till you see what America does with the Golden Dome. Oh man! See, Israel shielded the apple of God's eye. Blah. I'll go ahead and skip that one. Iran is continuously attacking Israel. Where are those who were happy about the attacks on Iran till yesterday? All right. So again, like we said, obviously this was we knew that this was going to take place. Everybody out here that's trying to I can't believe that this is that Iran's over here just bombarding Israel over and over and over again. You can't believe it. Obviously, I thought that was common sense. Like I said, you don't just kind of run up to somebody and just fucking punch them right in the face and then expect them not to come try and chase you down. It's not the way that it generally works.
Every action, he gets a reaction, man.
All right. Let's see. Iran shot down an F-35 fighter jet of Israel. Israeli war terrorist. Yeah, we saw this video just a little bit earlier. The Pulse reports indicate Iran has fired off around 100 ballistic missiles into Israel. That's 5 to 7 made it, and that 5 to 7 made it through Israel's layered missile defense system. So yeah, of course, they fire hundreds of them, and 5 to 7 get through. So the risk that they take, I suppose, but nonetheless, that's kind of their whole they're just firing indiscriminately into Israel and stuff like that. That's really, what do you expect them to? Do you guys have the fucking Iron Dome thing that we fund? Do you expect them to just surgically launch 1 or 2 missiles? They're gonna get shot out of the sky. Literally, the only way to actually hit Israel, if you're an enemy of Israel, is by launching hundreds and hundreds of fucking missiles, and then maybe 5 to 7 of them will get through. And not trying to say it's totally justified and shit like that, but nonetheless, that's really kind of the only way to hit Israel is to fire indiscriminately at it,
Yeah, and it really is justified. Like I said, man, you preemptively strike people and fucking kill an entire administration's cabinet and, so on. Expect fucking return, dude.
Right. And if not, you're just being fucking naive or you're trying to gaslight us, See, Netanyahu shows that Iran nuclear deal is failed. Israel has broken the dreams of Iran to be a nuclear power. Now Iran is unleashing. So I've seen the same thing basically just completely. Obviously, this is getting to the point of being propaganda because, we have several people saying the same exact fucking thing for, verbatim. So,
it's really hot, dude.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of propagandizing.
Shylock bots. That's Shylock bots, man. That's even Laura Loomer, bro. She's a good journalist, dude. She brings out some shit that you don't see anywhere else, or at least if you see it there first. But then at the same time, she's on the whole Mark Levin thing. How is defending Israel not America first? Because that's not America, fucking asshole.
Right. Because it's fucking, how does 2 and 2 not sometimes equal 5? That doesn't make sense to me. How is defending Israel not America first? Are you listening to yourself?
Yeah, they tell you flat out, you've mentioned Shapiro a couple times. Well, it was something, his line, not verbatim, of course, something to the effect of, my support for America rests on the fact that America supports Israel. So in other words, you're not pro-America. You know what I mean?
Right. And of course, we got his
fucking hashtag liberty. That's fucking great.
All right. Freaking so there's the whole the nation building again. It looks like we're trying to push that propaganda message again. Nation building. We're going to bring democracy to Iran, and then their ladies are going to be able to walk around in bikinis. It's going to be great. We're saving.
Right. Dude, absolutely. Fucking they want American fucking republic with sub 80 IQs and whatnot.
Right. They're easier to control, man. All right, so let's see. Let's check out this USS Liberty. See what's going on with that. Let's see. So 14 hours ago today, the Iranians attacked the USS Liberty in the Persian Gulf. Over 200 American casualties confirmed. This is the declaration of war of our nation. Iran cannot get away with this. The USS Liberty was attacked by Israel. Right.
It's hilarious. They put a fucking
Right. Like a community note on the very first one. Like, yeah, they're attacked by Israel, actually. Let's see. From June 12th, not our war. USS Liberty 2 starts World War III for immediate release. June 21st, 2025. Statement from Secretary Marco Rubio tonight. I get a little bit closer. Tonight, Israel took unilateral action against Iran. We are not involved. Okay, yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Big Mark has totally redeemed himself, though. He's not little Marco anymore. He's Big Mark, dude. I think the dude's done a fucking great job. Absolute, just a surprise to me. I don't know about you, but it's not what I expected. The dude is totally gone and fucking redeemed himself. I mean,
right. Yeah, dude, he's been doing real good lately, man. Actually, we'll look up what he's been saying over the past, here in a minute. See, so Ozark Night Owl. See, I study society and culture. Old school Americans are my folks. Those who defend it with me are my kin. See, he says, I stand against Israel. We are not dying in a sandbox for the people who ran Epstein and bombed the USS Liberty for their expansion agenda. Yeah, stand against Israel. Stand against Israel. We got a whole bunch of people standing against Israel right now. See, Bitcoin Jesus says,
that's right here could be the unifying factor, bro. Like everyone keeps searching for some way to fucking merge the electorate, right? The extreme left, the extreme right, whatever you want to refer to it as. And this right here could be it, dude. The fucking hate for our funds, going towards terrorist actions and genocidal fucking administrations and whatnot.
Right. I mean, fuck, dude, we could be using that to, pay for transgender studies in the Middle East,
Yeah.
That's the Bitcoin Jesus says.
Americans.
All right. See, Americans should have cut ties with Israel after they stole nuclear secrets and materials. They killed JJ. I'm guessing that's JFK. They bombed the USS Liberty. They conducted 9/11. They began genocidal ops on Palpatines. Started a war with Iran. So, yep. Looks like not a lot of support for the war in the Middle East, as of course you might have expected. Definitely not getting no support for the war in the Middle East over on this side of the pond. This side of the YouTube Rumble. Yeah, that's all we stream on, YouTube and Rumble. But YouTube Rumble pond. Yeah. Like, any more thoughts or anything you want me to look up before we start to wrap?
No, but I'd have to say the vast majority of the support that still exists is from the older generation, which unfortunately right now is like the oldest voting bloc, right? Or the largest voting bloc, rather. And, as you see, them, off into, the great peace times, you're going to see that support wane because, like I said, it comes from the right and the left.
Right. Yep. And that's really just kind of a lot of that whole, I guess just neocon, mindset, as well as just the more socialist mindset. We're seeing a lot of the younger generations, at least young generations. We're probably still going to have a couple generations of older folks, within their late, 40s and shit like that, within the next decade or so that are still going to be pushing the socialism agendas and stuff. That's not going away right away, but I do believe that the sentiment is going to start to wane over the next couple of generations.
Yeah. And, like I said, a lot of the shit that's been held as, dear the establishment, God's chosen people, all that shit, you're going to see pushed to the wayside. And the socialist thing, I don't think it's going to go away. You know what I mean? Like you always have, the Marxists, the Tim Walzes, poisoning children's minds with red books and whatnot. But
and you're always going to have plenty of lazy fucks willing to not work and fucking vote for blue no matter who,
Yep, the fear of democracy. Once the majority finds they can vote themselves money, it's a wrap.
Right.
It becomes done.
Yep. Yeah, I really do think fucking communism education needs to be much more of a thing in schools. I mean, fucking, you know, you hear about fucking Hitler and the Holocaust all the way from middle school up to you graduate high school, but dude, like fucking you get like a week of like, oh, and then this happened in, you know, like, you know, the Soviet Union, and this happened in, you know, like China, and this happened in Cambodia, and this happened in, you know, all these different, you know, communist places, Venezuela, or what have you, all these different places. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, fucking, I don't know, Hitler looked like a fucking Boy Scout or a fucking amateur compared to fucking, you know, the communist leaders, communist regimes.
And the Holodomor, and again, these were Kazakhstani Jews that overthrew the fucking the Tsarist family, and set off a Bolshevik revolution, which made the you know, worst communist fucking death count, you know, in history. You know what I mean? We're talking, you know, 100 million over a century, and that's like super conservative fucking estimates.
Yep. Should just say no to fucking communism and Judaism. Right. Definitely think a lot more, you know, sentiment for the, you know, Jews being God's chosen people is going to wane once more of these younger generations actually, you know, finish reading the Bible and shit like that.
Yeah. And, you know, learn about Pharisees and, you know, the fact that it's been pushed on Pontius Pilate, but it was those Pharisees that begged to free Barnabas to put Jesus to death, man. And of course, they twist that story as well. You know, just like the Holodomor, the Iranian or Armenian fucking genocide, so on and so on. All the acts committed by these people is swept under the rug or rewritten decades after the fact, man.
Yep.
That's God.
Right. It's God's chosen people. But all right, man. Well, we appreciate you guys stopping by. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, let us know what I forgot what I was gonna say. But either way, like, subscribe, share, let us know what you guys think in the comments. And as always, fuck off.
Happy Father's Day. Have a good weekend, man.
All right, happy Father's Day, everybody. Peace.